This food can repair DNA and starve cancer. What you need to know. It's a common misconception that cancer is an unstoppable force solely determined by our genetic makeup and that once cells become cancerous, there's little we can do. Many believe that DNA damage is irreversible and that our bodies are helpless against the progression of this aggressive disease. However, my nearly 15 years of experience in emergency medicine and my work with oncology patients have revealed something that profoundly challenges these widely held beliefs. It turns out that what we eat plays a far more significant role than many realize. Certain foods possess the remarkable ability to not only repair damaged DNA at a cellular level, but also to effectively starve existing tumors by systematically cutting off their blood supply. This isn't about slowing cancer down. It's about actively inhibiting its growth by denying it the resources it needs to survive and expand. The science behind this is compelling. A microscopic tumor, lacking access to blood vessels, cannot grow beyond the size of a ballpoint pen tip. Yet, the moment new blood vessels, a process known as angiogenesis, begin to feed that tumor, its growth can explode exponentially, increasing its size by a staggering 16,000 times in as little as 2 weeks. My journey into this area of research began with an uncomfortable realization. The scientific evidence supporting the power of nutrition in cancer prevention and treatment has been available for decades, yet it remains largely sidelined in mainstream clinical practice. I am Dr. Becker, an emergency medicine physician, and witnessing countless patients battle cancer while being told that their diet was irrelevant was a profound disconnect. It spurred me to explore the research that demonstrates how specific foods can actively awaken our body's innate anti-cancer defenses. This video aims to illuminate the precise foods that can mend DNA damage at the cellular level and explain how our bodies can effectively starve cancer cells by regulating blood vessel growth. We will delve into the fascinating science of angiogenesis, understanding why it is the cornerstone of cancer prevention. You will learn about the specific compounds found in everyday foods that can sever a tumor's blood supply, the astonishing capacity of certain foods to mend broken DNA strands, and most importantly, the exact quantities of these foods you need to incorporate into your diet starting today to unlock these powerful protective mechanisms. Before we dive in, a quick favor. I notice many viewers find value in these videos and yet are not subscribed. A simple click to subscribe takes 2 seconds. It's completely free, and it significantly helps this channel reach more individuals seeking credible, science-based health information. Let's begin by establishing a foundational understanding that fundamentally alters our perception of cancer. The reality is that cancer cells are forming in your body right now, as they are in mine and in everyone's. This isn't a cause for alarm, it's a normal biological process. Our bodies are comprised of approximately 40 trillion cells, which are in a constant state of division and regeneration, replacing old or damaged cells. During this intricate process of cell division, errors can occur, much like when photocopying a document repeatedly, where mistakes inevitably appear on subsequent pages. These errors lead to the formation of abnormal cells, and some of these abnormal cells are, by definition, cancerous. It is highly probable that at any given moment, you harbor dozens of microscopic clusters of cancer cells within your body. So, why aren't we all succumbing to cancer? The answer lies in our incredibly robust immune system. This vigilant system constantly patrols our bodies, identifying these nascent clusters of cancer cells and neutralizing them long before they can become a threat, akin to a security force meticulously scanning for and eradicating potential dangers. However, even if a few cancer cells manage to evade the immune system's detection, they still cannot pose a significant danger unless they overcome one critical hurdle. They require sustenance. They need oxygen and essential nutrients to survive and multiply. To obtain these vital resources, they must establish a blood supply. This is precisely where the concept of angiogenesis becomes paramount to our understanding of cancer. Angiogenesis, in its simplest terms, refers to the formation of new blood vessels. Your body meticulously regulates this process, maintaining a delicate equilibrium to ensure optimal tissue health. An insufficient blood supply would lead to oxygen deprivation and cell death, while an excessive proliferation of blood vessels can result in pathological conditions such as the abnormal blood vessel growth that leads to diabetic blindness. Consider it analogous to maintaining a lawn at a precise height. If the grass grows too long, it needs to be mowed, and if it becomes too short, it requires time to grow. Your body possesses sophisticated mechanisms that promote blood vessel growth when necessary and inhibit it when an adequate supply is already present. This balance is often referred to as the Goldilocks zone, a state of perfect equilibrium, neither too much nor too little. This is where cancer exhibits its particularly insidious nature, making it such a formidable adversary. Cancer cells possess the alarming ability to hijack your body's own angiogenesis system. They achieve this by releasing specific proteins, known as growth factors, which act as a potent stimulant, essentially acting as fertilizer that encourages the rapid growth of new blood vessels directly into the tumor. Once these newly formed blood vessels successfully infiltrate the tumor, a dramatic shift occurs in its growth trajectory. Scientific research has quantified this phenomenon with striking precision. A tumor completely isolated from any blood supply remains dormant and static, typically measuring no more than 1 to 2 millimeters in diameter, smaller than a grain of rice. Such a tumor can persist for years, even decades, remaining entirely harmless because it cannot access the nutrients required for expansion. However, the instant angiogenesis occurs and blood vessels penetrate this tumor. Its growth transforms into an exponential explosion. A landmark study conducted at Harvard Medical School, utilizing advanced imaging techniques to track tumor growth rates, revealed that once vascularization, the establishment of blood vessel connections, takes place, the tumor's growth rate escalates by a factor of 16,000 in approximately 14 days. To put this into perspective, a tumor the size of a pinpoint can balloon to the size of a grape in just 2 weeks once it secures a blood supply. This remarkable statistic underscores the critical importance of early detection, but more significantly, it highlights why preventing tumor angiogenesis stands as one of the most powerful anti-cancer strategies available to us. For many years, the pharmaceutical industry has allocated billions of dollars towards the development of drugs designed to inhibit tumor angiogenesis. These medications, known as angiogenesis inhibitors, have become standard therapeutic interventions for a wide array of cancers. Their mechanism of action involves cutting off the blood supply to tumors, thereby effectively starving them of essential nutrients. While these drugs can be efficacious, they are not without their drawbacks. Their widespread impact on blood vessel growth throughout the entire body, not just within tumors, can lead to significant and sometimes severe side effects. This is where the story takes a particularly fascinating turn and where my perspective underwent a dramatic shift. When researchers embarked on testing these angiogenesis-blocking drugs in laboratory settings, they employed specific assays to meticulously measure the efficacy of various compounds in inhibiting blood vessel growth. In one particularly groundbreaking experiment, scientists expanded their investigation beyond pharmaceutical compounds to include extracts derived from common, everyday foods. They subjected extracts from green tea to rigorous testing. The results were so compellingly potent that, had the researchers not been aware of the botanical origin of the extract, and had they believed it to be a product of pharmaceutical development, they would have immediately initiated clinical trials. The polyphenols present in green tea, with a particular emphasis on a compound called EGCG, demonstrated an inhibitory effect on abnormal blood vessel growth that was on par with some experimental cancer drugs. However, this was only one piece of a much larger puzzle. Green tea is by no means the sole food item possessing this remarkable capability. Through systematic food testing, employing the same rigorous methodologies used for drug development, researchers discovered that over 100 different foods exhibit measurable anti-angiogenic properties. These foods possess the ability to either slow down or completely halt the growth of the blood vessels that are essential for fueling tumors. This is not mere conjecture. These findings are substantiated by direct observation in laboratory assays where the inhibition of blood vessel growth by food-derived compounds is clearly visible. The second mechanism, which is arguably even more crucial for long-term cancer prevention, involves the direct repair of damaged DNA by specific foods. Every single day, our DNA is subjected to numerous assaults. These threats come from a variety of sources, including ultraviolet radiation from sunlight, chemicals present in processed foods, pervasive environmental pollutants, and even the normal metabolic processes occurring within our cells. These daily aggressors inflict damage upon our DNA. Fortunately, our cells are equipped with sophisticated repair mechanisms, functioning like an internal maintenance crew that diligently fixes problems before they can escalate into permanent mutations. However, for these repair systems to operate at their peak efficiency, they require specific nutrients. Without adequate nutritional support, DNA damage begins to accumulate. Imagine a road that develops potholes. If you have a competent repair crew and readily available materials, they can fill the potholes as soon as they appear, ensuring the road remains smooth and functional. Conversely, if the repair crew lacks the necessary asphalt and tools, the potholes will enlarge, more potholes will form, and eventually the entire road will deteriorate. This is precisely what can happen to our DNA when it is deprived of proper nutritional support. The most remarkable research concerning food-based DNA repair emanates from studies conducted on kiwi fruit, a finding that initially surprised me when I first encountered the data. Kiwis are not typically lauded as a quintessential superfood, yet the scientific evidence supporting their benefits is overwhelmingly compelling. A study undertaken at the University of Oslo in Norway involved 43 healthy adult participants who were assigned to consume either 1, 2, or 3 kiwis daily for a period of 3 weeks. At the conclusion of this 3-week period, researchers assessed the level of DNA damage in the participants' cells using a technique known as the COMET assay. This sophisticated test literally visualizes broken DNA strands under a microscope. These damaged strands appear as luminous comets with trailing tails, hence the name of the assay. The participants who consumed a single kiwi per day exhibited a remarkable 60% reduction in DNA damage compared to their baseline measurements. Consider the profound impact. A single kiwi fruit providing such substantial protection against DNA damage. Even more astonishing were the results from the participants who consumed 3 kiwis daily. Not only did they experience a significant prevention of new DNA damage, but they also demonstrated a remarkable repair of existing damage. Their cells showed an impressive 60% improvement in their DNA repair capacity. The underlying mechanism for these benefits is attributed to the high concentration of vitamin C and other potent antioxidants found in kiwi fruit. Vitamin C directly neutralizes free radicals, which are notorious for causing DNA strand breaks, and it also plays a crucial role in supporting the enzymatic systems responsible for the physical repair of damaged DNA. However, the benefits of kiwis extend beyond just vitamin C. They are rich in a synergistic blend of polyphenols, flavonoids, and carotenoids. This is a critical point of distinction to emphasize: the power of whole foods versus isolated supplements. While taking a vitamin C pill can certainly provide antioxidant benefits, consuming a kiwi fruit offers vitamin C alongside dozens of other compounds that interact and enhance each other's effects in ways that are still being fully elucidated. In essence, the whole food is demonstrably more powerful than the sum of its individual isolated components. While the conventional wisdom for cancer prevention often focuses on avoiding carcinogens, such as refraining from smoking, limiting alcohol intake, and moderating sun exposure, these actions, while important, represent only half of the equation. The other crucial half involves actively fortifying your body's intrinsic anti-cancer defense systems. your body is already remarkably equipped to combat cancer. It possesses specialized immune cells capable of recognizing and eliminating cancer cells. It has sophisticated systems in place to regulate blood vessel growth, and it maintains mechanisms for repairing damaged DNA. The pivotal question then becomes, are you providing your body with the essential nutritional tools it requires to effectively operate these vital systems? Let's systematically break down the specific anti-cancer pathways that can be stimulated and enhanced through the strategic incorporation of food into your diet. The first pathway, as we have already touched upon, is anti-angiogenesis. Foods rich in specific polyphenols, flavonoids, and a variety of other beneficial compounds can effectively inhibit the growth factors that tumors secrete in their attempts to stimulate the formation of new blood vessels. When tumor cells release vascular endothelial growth factor, VEGF, a critical signaling molecule for blood vessel growth, these food-derived compounds act as antagonists, blocking the VEGF receptors. This effectively severs the communication line between the tumor and your body's blood vessel construction machinery, preventing the tumor from receiving its vital supply. You will be astounded to discover which specific foods are the most potent in this regard. The second pathway involves the direct activation of your immune system. Your immune system is equipped with specialized cells, including natural killer, NK cells, and T cells. These are the elite forces of your internal defense network, meticulously identifying and neutralizing cancerous cells. Certain foods have been shown to significantly increase both the number and the activity of these crucial immune cells. A study conducted at the University of Auckland measured immune cell counts in athletes before and after the consumption of blueberries. Athletes serve as an interesting subject group for such studies because intense physical exercise can temporarily suppress immune function, thereby making it easier to discern the precise impact of dietary interventions. In this particular study, athletes were instructed to consume 1.5 cups of blueberries daily for a period of 6 weeks. At the conclusion of the study, it was observed that these athletes had an astonishing 88% increase in circulating T cells within their bloodstream. Furthermore, their natural killer cell activity was also significantly elevated. These were not subjective feelings of improved health. These were measurable increases in the actual immune cells responsible for destroying cancer. The active compounds responsible for these effects are anthocyanins, the vibrant blue pigments found in blueberries, which function as potent immune stimulators. The third pathway is what I term the microbiome immunity connection, and it is within this domain that the research becomes truly captivating. Your gut harbors trillions of bacteria, and we now possess a profound understanding that specific bacterial species exert a direct influence on the efficacy of your immune system's fight against cancer. One particular bacterium, known as Akkermansia muciniphala, has emerged as a key player in this intricate relationship. Research conducted at the Gustave Roussy Cancer Center in France involved a study of 200 cancer patients undergoing immunotherapy. Immunotherapy represents a groundbreaking treatment approach that empowers your immune system to recognize and aggressively attack cancer cells. While this therapy proves remarkably successful for some patients, leading to complete eradication of even metastatic cancer, it unfortunately proves ineffective for others. The researchers in this study sought to understand the underlying reasons for this differential response. They meticulously analyzed stool samples from all 200 patients and discovered that the sole significant differentiator between those who responded exceptionally well to treatment, responders, and those who derived no benefit, non-responders, was the presence of Akkermansia bacteria in their gut. Patients who exhibited high levels of Akkermansia responded dramatically to immunotherapy, experiencing significant tumor regression. Conversely, patients with low or absent levels of Akkermansia did not respond to the treatment. This remarkable bacterium essentially primes your immune system, enabling it to mount a more effective defense against cancer. Now that we have established a clear understanding of these critical mechanisms, the vital question arises. What concrete steps can you take to leverage this knowledge? What specific foods should you incorporate, and in what quantities? Allow me to provide you with an exact protocol, meticulously designed based on the available research and reflecting the recommendations I provide to my patients. Our first crucial food is kiwi fruit. The recommended intake is 1 to 3 kiwis daily, depending on your individual health goals. For general DNA protection and maintenance, consuming 1 kiwi per day is generally sufficient. However, if you have higher risk factors, such as a family history of cancer, or if you have previously experienced cancer and wish to support your recovery, aiming for 3 kiwis daily is advisable. The research clearly indicates that the maximal benefits are observed at this higher daily intake. You can consume kiwis with the skin on, provided you opt for organic varieties and wash them thoroughly. The skin is a rich source of additional fiber and beneficial polyphenols. If the fuzzy texture of the skin is off-putting, golden kiwis offer a smooth skin alternative and are equally beneficial. You can also cut them in half and scoop out the flesh with a spoon, incorporate them into yogurt, or blend them into smoothies. Furthermore, kiwis are exceptionally beneficial for your gut microbiome due to their high content of prebiotic fiber, which serves as a food source for beneficial gut bacteria. Our second recommended food is green tea. The target intake is 3 cups daily, brewed from actual tea leaves, not the bottled versions commonly found in convenience stores, which often contain minimal active compounds and added sugars. The key active compound in green tea is EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate, which not only inhibits tumor angiogenesis but also possesses direct anti-cancer properties that affect cancer cells. A comprehensive study conducted at the Chinese University of Hong Kong followed over 68,000 women for more than 10 years. The findings revealed that women who regularly drank green tea, defined as at least 3 cups per week, had a 27% lower risk of developing colorectal cancer compared to those who did not consume tea. Those who drank green tea daily experienced even more favorable outcomes. To maximize the benefits, here's how to brew your green tea. Heat water to approximately 175 degrees Celsius, about 80 degrees. It should be steaming but not at a rolling boil. If you boil the water, allow it to cool for about 3 minutes before steeping. Steep your tea for 3 to 5 minutes. A longer steeping time extracts more EGCG but can result in a more bitter flavor. Adding lemon juice is highly recommended, as the vitamin C in lemon can significantly enhance EGCG absorption by approximately 6 times by stabilizing the catechins in your digestive system. It is crucial to avoid adding dairy milk, as the proteins in dairy can bind to the beneficial compounds in green tea, hindering their absorption. If you prefer to lighten your tea, opt for plant-based milks like almond or oat milk. Our third vital food is blueberries, with a target of 1 cup daily. Both fresh and frozen blueberries are excellent choices. Frozen blueberries are often even higher in anthocyanins, as they are typically picked and frozen at their peak ripeness. The anthocyanins in blueberries offer multiple benefits. They boost the production of immune cells, reduce inflammation, and possess anti-angiogenic properties. However, here's a lesser-known fact. Blueberries not only help prevent the chronic inflammation that fuels cancer growth, but also simultaneously enhance immune activity against cancer cells. This seemingly contradictory effect is one of the remarkable features of these compounds, as they can reduce harmful inflammation while amplifying beneficial immune responses. A study from the University of East Anglia tracked nearly 200,000 individuals for over 20 years. The results showed that those who consumed the highest amounts of anthocyanin-rich foods, predominantly berries, experienced a 17% lower risk of developing cancer overall. For specific types of cancer, such as esophageal and colorectal cancer, the risk reduction was even more pronounced, reaching up to 40%. Our fourth recommended food may surprise many due to existing misinformation surrounding it. Soy foods, including tofu, tempeh, edamame, and soy milk. Aim for at least 2 servings per week, with an ideal target of 1 serving every other day. A persistent myth suggests that soy is dangerous due to its content of phytoestrogens, plant compounds that some erroneously claim mimic human estrogen. This assertion is fundamentally incorrect. Phytoestrogens bear no molecular resemblance to human estrogen. In fact, they act as antagonists, blocking human estrogen receptors, which provides a protective effect against hormone-related cancers, such as breast cancer. The key active compound in soy is genistein, which is recognized as one of the most potent anti-angiogenic substances ever identified. Research conducted at the University of Illinois measured genistein's capacity to inhibit blood vessel growth in tumors. Their findings indicated that genistein inhibited VEGF signaling by over 70% in experimental models. Population studies strongly support these findings. Asian countries, where soy consumption is a dietary staple, exhibit significantly lower rates of breast and prostate cancer compared to Western countries with minimal soy intake. A meta-analysis, pooling data from 35 separate studies, concluded that women who consumed the highest amounts of soy had a 29% lower risk of developing breast cancer. Furthermore, for women already diagnosed with breast cancer, a high soy intake was associated with improved outcomes and a reduced recurrence rate. Our fifth recommendation is broccoli, but with a crucial detail that often gets overlooked. Broccoli sprouts are exponentially more potent than mature broccoli. The primary active compound is sulforaphane, which not only activates your body's detoxification systems, but also exerts direct anti-cancer effects. While mature broccoli contains sulforaphane, broccoli sprouts, the seedlings at 3 to 4 days old, contain a staggering 100 times more of this beneficial compound. A study from Johns Hopkins University measured sulforaphane levels and found that a small handful of broccoli sprouts delivers as much sulforaphane as several pounds of mature broccoli. You can often find broccoli sprouts in the produce section of many grocery stores, typically near other sprouts, or you can easily grow them yourself at home in a jar within approximately 4 days. Aim to consume 1/4 cup of broccoli sprouts 3 to 4 times per week. If sprouts are unavailable, regular broccoli can still be beneficial, but focus on consuming the stems rather than just the florets. Broccoli stems contain approximately twice the amount of sulforaphane as the tops. Therefore, do not discard them. Chop them finely and add them to stir-fries, blend them into soups, or steam them alongside the florets. An additional critical tip regarding broccoli preparation: lightly steaming it for 3 to 4 minutes actually enhances sulforaphane bioavailability compared to consuming it raw. However, boiling broccoli effectively destroys sulforaphane, so it should be avoided. Our sixth food is tomatoes, specifically cooked tomatoes. The key anti-cancer compound is lycopene, a carotenoid responsible for the vibrant red color of tomatoes. Lycopene possesses powerful anti-angiogenic properties and also plays a role in protecting cellular DNA from oxidative damage. Here's a fascinating aspect. Cooking tomatoes significantly enhances lycopene bioavailability. When you consume a raw tomato, your body absorbs only a small amount of lycopene. However, when tomatoes are cooked, the heat breaks down cell walls, releasing lycopene in a form that your body can absorb much more efficiently. Tomato sauce, tomato paste, and roasted tomatoes all provide significantly greater amounts of bioavailable lycopene than fresh tomatoes. A landmark study conducted at Harvard University followed over 47,000 men for 12 years. The findings indicated that men who consumed tomato products at least twice per week had a 23% lower risk of developing prostate cancer compared to those who rarely ate tomatoes. Men who consumed 10 or more servings of tomato products per week experienced an even greater risk reduction, up to 35%. Aim to consume at least 3 servings per week of cooked tomato products. A serving is defined as half a cup of tomato sauce, 1/4 cup of tomato paste, or 1 cup of cooked tomatoes. When cooking tomatoes, it is advisable to incorporate olive oil, as lycopene is fat-soluble, meaning it is absorbed more effectively when consumed with healthy fats. Our seventh recommended food is pomegranate, and the target intake is approximately 4 ounces of pure pomegranate juice daily, or half of a fresh pomegranate. Pomegranates contain L-gitannins, which are converted by your gut bacteria into urolithin a compound that exhibits remarkable effects on cellular health and immune function. Critically, pomegranate specifically nourishes Akkermansia mucinifera, the beneficial gut bacterium we discussed earlier that plays a pivotal role in determining the effectiveness of cancer immunotherapy. I am aware of a clinical case involving a patient with multiple myeloma who was preparing to undergo immunotherapy. This patient had recently taken antibiotics for a respiratory infection, which had completely depleted her Akkermansia bacteria. Her physician postponed the treatment for 3 weeks and instructed her to drink 8 ounces of pomegranate juice daily. After 3 weeks, her Akkermansia levels had increased to 6 times the average for the general population. When she commenced immunotherapy, she responded exceptionally well, achieving outcomes in the top 1% of patients, with her cancer effectively disappearing after 3 treatments. This case powerfully illustrates the impact of strategically using food to optimize the effectiveness of medical interventions. For daily preventative purposes, 8 ounces of juice is not necessary. 4 ounces of pure pomegranate juice, with no added sugar, or consuming half of a fresh pomegranate, provides sufficient L-gitannins to support Akkermansia growth. You can also obtain L-gitannins from walnuts, raspberries, and cranberries. Therefore, rotating between these foods can provide variety while maintaining the health benefits. Now, allow me to share some professional tips derived from my 15 years of clinical practice to maximize the anti-cancer effects of these beneficial foods. Timing plays a significant role. Your immune system and DNA repair systems are most active during your sleep cycle. Therefore, it is advisable to consume your DNA-protective foods, such as kiwi and berries, earlier in the day to allow your body ample time to absorb and distribute the nutrients before bedtime. Reserve your anti-angiogenic foods, like green tea and soy, for the afternoon and evening. It is also important to avoid consuming heavy meals within 3 hours of bedtime, as active digestion diverts essential resources away from cellular repair and immune surveillance. The synergistic effect of combining foods creates amplified benefits that are far more potent than consuming individual foods in isolation. For instance, drinking green tea with lemon can boost EGCG absorption by 6-fold. Consuming tomatoes with olive oil enhances lycopene absorption by 3-fold. Incorporating vitamin C-rich foods like kiwi alongside iron-rich plant-based foods can improve iron absorption. Think strategically about how you can combine these foods. A smoothie containing blueberries, kiwi, and a handful of spinach provides anthocyanins, vitamin C, and sulforaphane all in one potent dose. A meal comprising baked tofu, steamed broccoli, and tomato sauce offers genistein, sulforaphane, and lycopene together. Consistency is far more impactful than intensity. Avoid consuming 3 cups of blueberries one day and then abstaining for 2 weeks. Your body's defense systems respond to consistent, regular input. 1 cup of blueberries every day is significantly more effective than consuming 7 cups once a week. This principle applies to all these beneficial foods. Regular daily or near-daily consumption leads to sustained activation of protective pathways. Consider it like maintaining a fire. A steady fuel supply keeps it burning consistently, whereas sporadic, large additions can cause temporary flare-ups followed by dying embers. One of the most common mistakes I observe is individuals striving for perfect adherence to a diet 100% of the time, only to become discouraged and abandon their efforts when they inevitably fall short. Remember, your body possesses redundant defense systems. If you are consistently incorporating most of these foods most days, you are providing your body with remarkable protective capabilities. If you occasionally consume something that is not ideal, your fortified defenses are well equipped to handle it. This approach is not about deprivation or fear. It is about empowerment and sustainable lifestyle choices. Another critical error is the assumption that supplements can fully replace whole foods. While high-quality supplements can play a role, especially if access to certain whole foods is genuinely limited, they provide only isolated compounds. Whole foods, on the other hand, contain hundreds of compounds that work synergistically in ways that are still being uncovered. A tomato, for example, provides lycopene along with vitamin C, potassium, folate, and numerous other carotenoids and polyphenols that enhance lycopene's effects. A lycopene supplement, by contrast, offers only lycopene. The whole food is inherently more powerful. Preparation methods significantly impact nutrient availability. We have already discussed the benefits of cooking tomatoes and lightly steaming broccoli. With green tea, water temperature and steeping time are crucial. With kiwis, consuming the skin offers added benefits. These seemingly small details contribute to substantial differences in the amount of active compounds you actually absorb and utilize. Avoid overthinking these details to the point of paralysis, but do pay attention to these practical preparation tips. One final insight from my clinical experience. Patients who focus on adding beneficial foods to their diet rather than eliminating foods they enjoy tend to achieve greater long-term success. Instead of thinking, "I can never eat pizza again," try framing it as, "I'm going to add blueberries to my breakfast and enjoy a cup of green tea every afternoon." As you incorporate more protective foods, they naturally begin to displace less healthy options. You may find yourself craving a second serving of roasted vegetables instead of a third helping of pasta, simply because your body starts to seek out the foods that make it feel better. This gradual, additive approach is sustainable over decades. Restrictive elimination diets, by contrast, are rarely maintained for more than a few months. Cancer does not have to be an inevitable part of aging. The patients I encounter who remain cancer-free or who successfully recover from cancer are not genetically superior or simply lucky. They consistently consume foods that activate their body's innate anti-cancer defenses. Your immune system is capable of recognizing and eliminating cancer cells. Your body can effectively control blood vessel growth to starve tumors. Your cells possess the remarkable ability to repair damaged DNA. These sophisticated systems are present within you right now. The crucial question is whether you are providing them with the necessary nutritional support to function optimally. To summarize what we have covered, cancer cells require blood vessels to grow beyond a microscopic size. Foods rich in specific polyphenols and flavonoids can effectively starve tumors by inhibiting angiogenesis. Certain foods, particularly kiwis, offer potent DNA protection and repair. Your gut bacteria, especially Akkermansia, play a critical role in immune-mediated cancer defense. The 7 most powerful foods identified are kiwi fruit, 1-3 daily, green tea, 3 cups daily, blueberries, 1 cup daily, soy foods, 2 servings weekly, broccoli sprouts, 1/4 cup 3 times weekly, cooked tomatoes, 3 servings weekly, and pomegranate, 4 ounces of juice or half a fruit daily. These foods work through multiple mechanisms, including anti-angiogenesis, immune activation, DNA repair, and microbiome support. Consistency and appropriate preparation are paramount, outweighing the pursuit of perfection. Combining foods creates synergistic effects that are more potent than individual foods alone. You possess more control over your cancer risk than you may have been led to believe. Your body is already equipped with the systems necessary to prevent and combat cancer. Food provides the essential fuel that these systems require to operate. If you found this information valuable, please consider subscribing and liking this video. Your support helps me reach more individuals who are seeking genuine, science-based information on disease prevention and health optimization. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.